In this video presentation, we will be talking about morality and servant leadership. This video presentation will highlight the information concerning the interview project assigned for this course and examine how servant leaders can promote morality, ethics among their peers. The next section is our research question, which is how can leaders motivate employees within an environment of unethical decision making, which opposes the core values and morals they espouse to the community? In this research question, I based this on the information that I received from the interview from my interviewee, and it is in reference to the DeKalb County Public School system that she was employed with. Purpose statement. The purpose of the research is to discover how ethical and morally motivational leadership impacts the ethical behavior of subordinates and peers. Utilizing the framework of the social cognitive theory and the construct of moral motivation, we will look at the results of this interview. Based on the results and analysis of this project, I will determine if moral ethical motivation is an effective way to influence employees who operate in unethical environments. And now we come to our framework, which is the crux of our discussion today. The framework for this interview project was based on the social cognitive theory coined by Barunda. And in this theory, he portrays human functioning as a dynamic system comprised of reciprocal relationships. The theory implies to fully understand the leadership process, the categories of leader cognition, behaviors, and environment must be taken into consideration. To measure the impact of motivation, the construct of moral motivation, or MM, will be utilized. Leaders must consider how their values and morals impact their decision-making process and how it impacts others, and can cause a ripple effect of unethical behavior throughout the entire organization. I will specifically examine what factors, variables, or circumstances influence a leader or servant leader's selection of an ethical perspective, and if the leader is a moral or ethical motivator and servant leader. And now we come to the best part of our presentation, which is the analysis of the interview information. And in order for us to gather this information, I interviewed a former teacher of DeKalb County Public Schools who is now also a counselor and a pastor. She's a leader in the community. And as a result of further research after this interview, I discovered that DeKalb County Public Schools espouses core values and ethical standards that they want the employees to uphold, while the organization itself as an entity continues to partake in unethical practices. The district is infamous for theft, fraud, and racketeering. Employees are not motivated to act ethically through the actions of the organization, but only through the directives of leaders in the organization. This demonstrates that they have a do as I say and not as I do mentality with employees. The practical significance of this research for this interview project is to encourage leaders to be motivators of ethical behaviors and to become servant leaders. As demonstrated in this analysis of moral motivation, the lack of ethical practices and moral motivation impacts not only the individuals participating in the fraud and unethical behavior, but also the community at large. An employee's perspective and practice of ethical behavior can be the opposite of what the organization is practicing. However, in order to be within a culture that is unethical, there will be challenges to remain ethical, and if not careful, the culture can impact the decision-making process of the employee or the leader working at the company. The key lessons that I've learned from this research is that as a leader, I can be influenced by the environment around me, or I can choose to keep my integrity and act ethically. Being ethical is more of a choice to be different than a challenge to conform with your environmental or cultural climate. I discovered as a result of this interview and research over the semester that even the most ethical and committed individuals or leaders can be impacted by the environment they are in and incorporate their values into the way they lead. The culture of an organization dictates its actions or inaction concerning upholding ethical standards, and leaders within that culture can choose to take a stand or conform to the normalcy of that culture. This experience has taught me to be strategic and confident as a leader, and also to be able to use balance, fairness, and to be as informed as possible in the decision making process. Thank you for viewing my video, and I hope that you were informed about the morality of servant leadership.